Aloha and welcome to the Songs and Stories podcast. I'm Steve Roby, and joining me on today's show is pop Christian gospel singer and songwriter Shallon Toré. Aloha and welcome to Songs and Stories.
Thank you so much for having me, Steve.
I was just thrilled to learn that there was a gospel R&B singer on the island. I started a film documentary in 2017 and was trying to find all different kinds of music, and on my wish list was trying to locate a gospel singer such as yourself. So I'm thrilled to have you on the show and be able to talk to you today.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Good. Well, let's start out with where you began singing and how it developed into something more serious.
So I grew up in the church, and I grew up singing in choirs. And I've always had a love for music, just all kinds of music, whether it be R&B, pop. And my relationship with God just continued to grow over the years. And I've always, pretty much most of my life, been walking with Christ, really striving to live for Him. And I would say in the last 5 or 6 years, I decided that I wanted to just give my voice to Him. I didn't want to go around singing different songs with other kinds of messages, but I wanted to sing messages that just glorified Him and shared His love with the world. I began to work with a vocal coach about 3 to 4 years ago, Jessie Lane Powell, also currently working with Allison. They're all both jazz artists, and they would come here for the East Hawaii Jazz Festival, and I just grabbed a hold of them just to start teaching me. Again, Allison Adams Tucker, that's my current vocal coach's name. So I just worked with them and just continued to develop my gift. My coach, Jessie Lane Powell at the time, told me, Shallon, it's time. She said, I know that you are a full-time doctor, but there's a calling in your life to sing, and I don't know how you're going to do it, but you need to do it. And so last September, I had my first concert in Hilo as a vocalist, and it's amazing. Just from there, I released my first single, Reveal Yourself to Me, December of 2019, and so far in 2020, I've released another song, Simple Faith. Currently, my latest song out is called Glow, and we're just continuing to share songs with the world, and it's amazing the response I'm getting from all over the world. You're
really on a roll right now, aren't you?
I am on a roll. Yes, my mind is completely blown.
Wow. Who were some of your major musical influences along the way and currently?
So from a Christian music standpoint, I love Kirk Franklin. I love Mary Mary. I love Hillsong, the songwriting that comes from their music, Lauren Daigle. From the other influences I've had from an R&B standpoint, I love Earth, Wind and Fire, Michael Jackson, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. And I feel like there's so many little pieces of that I love and I integrate into my music because I really want a message that will be appealing to, I want to share the message of Jesus, but I want to make sure I share it in a way that people want to hear it. Nice. And so God's just given me a lot of different avenues to be able to do that.
That's great. Well, tell me about that Big Island debut concert. What was that like for you?
That was an amazing day. So several musicians from my church came and they played. I also recruited some friends I've sang with on praise and worship teams out here in Hawaii. Pastor Mark Zier offered his space at Christ Lutheran Church and here in Hilo. My cousin flew in from Los Angeles. He actually is a music producer, and he helped me with my first 2 singles. And he's a Grammy Award-winning producer. So I had his expertise and just mentoring in the process. We all came together September 13th of last year, and it was an amazing concert. I did a number of covers of different songs, and it's so funny. I had been songwriting for a couple of years, and my husband said, Shallon, why don't you do your own song? And I was like, are you serious? And because I only felt comfortable at that time singing other people's music, yet, God was giving me songs and lyrics and melodies. And I'm so grateful I did. I actually did my first single that I wrote called Fortified at that concert. And now all I want to sing is the music that the Lord gives me to write and to share. That's my passion now. So that was truly a launching experience into what I'm doing right now.
I'm glad you're following that path. That sounds like a good direction.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the music you sent over. What's the backstory on Glow?
So Glow is a song about what your life should be like after you've been hanging out with God. Just in my personal walk, it's great for me to go to church. It's great for me to read my Bible. I even have a wonderful small group of ladies I meet with every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. But for there to be a change in my heart that influences how I live day to day, my actions towards other people I work with, towards my family, how I respond, there should be something different from the way the world may typically respond or the way my natural self would typically respond to things. Glow is a song about the transformation that happens in your heart after you've been hanging out with God. You can't help but shine like a light.
Oh, nice.
I loved, God just gave me a wonderful analogy. One day we were driving across Saddle Road, and as you know, it's so dark, and the stars shine so bright. So even in the midst of darkness, even in the midst of so much hopelessness and people who may be treating each other the wrong way with cruelty, those who say, I love God, I love Jesus, our lives should shine, our lives should shine, and they should look different, and hopefully influence everything around us. So that's what the song Glow is about.
Nice. Well, let's listen to Shallon Toré's Glow here on Songs and Stories.
After being in the presence of the King, worshiping in the midst of not understanding, hearing your voice and letting you affect my choice. Standing on your word, Lord, in you I trust. My eyes are fixed on you, I'm standing on your promise. You changed my story, my face is radiant with your glory. My life goes, shines so bright, whether day or night. My life goes, your presence lights up my life. My life goes, shines so bright, whether day or night. My life goes, your presence lights up my life. So glad to be with you. Your love is so true. I'm not the same, oh Lord. You took my shame and made me new. Out of the darkness, into the light, shining like a star. In the night, love overflowing, and truly nobody all knowing. My light goes, shines so bright, whether day or night. My life goes, your presence lights up my life. My life goes, shines so bright, whether day or night. My
back on Songs and Stories with my special guest, Shallon Toré, and we're talking about her music, her songwriting skills, and a whole bunch more. The whole bunch more part is telling me about how you got the name Singing Doctor. And tell me about the doctor side of things here on the island.
Yes, so I am a board-certified pediatrician. I graduated from University of Colorado School of Medicine, trained in Pittsburgh, and my journey brought me to Hilo, Hawaii. My husband and I made a decision, there was no other place in the world we'd rather be than in Hawaii. So we moved here about 6 years ago, and I had the joy of working at Hilo Medical Center and then decided to go into private practice a couple of years ago. So Sunshine Pediatric Clinic is my clinic where I work, serving this beautiful community. It is a joy. And part of the way I practice medicine is I sing quite a bit. So especially my toddler patients, usually there'll be a variety of songs like the ABCs, the Wheels on the Bus, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, as I do my physical exam and get them to calm down and to be excited about coming. So that's how I got my name really, as the singing doctor in that realm. And now just realizing that my calling in medicine is super important to me, but I also recognize I have a calling to sing and to songwrite. So just trying to make that all work together now. As a doctor, I'm sure you find, or have you found, that music is also kind of a therapy for a lot of people. Absolutely. I actually had a little patient. She's 18 months old, and I was examining her a couple weeks ago. We started off with our little song, then I started listening to her, and she goes, "More, please. More, please." Oh, it just melted my heart. All right. But yes, absolutely. Music is important for you and I. If we're having a rough time in our lives, or it's going to be a rough day, let's start off with the right playlist in the morning. You have to. Yeah. I know I have my good morning playlist. I have that song in my heart when I need to go throughout my day if I'm going through a rough time that will kind of keep me uplifted. But yes, music is extremely important on so many levels. Switching gears here just a little bit, I also understand you're a professional dancer and once appeared on Soul Train. Yes, I am a former Soul Train dancer. Both my husband and I used to dance on Soul Train in 2003. Nice. Yes, and I actually got to meet Don Cornelius. So the legend Don Cornelius. So I also danced salsa professionally for a number of years. One of my favorite scriptures is that all things work together for the good of those who love God. And I'm just like, okay, God, every little skill I have, I want it to glorify you. So even in my videos, I love to dance. I love to move and want to encourage others to do that too. Oh, I was going to say my new song, Glow. It's a very upbeat song that makes you really want to dance. And I've been able to tell people that, put this song on your workout playlist because, yes, it's so important to take care of your spiritual health, but you got to take care of your physical health so you can do the things that God wants you to do in your life. Absolutely. I want my music to encourage people to move and to dance and to stay healthy. Well, let's talk about some of your music videos, some of the music videos that you've done. What can folks experience when watching those? So my first song, Reveal Yourself to Me, came out in December, and if you check that out on YouTube, I got to film it in different places around the island. I'm on Punalu'u Black Sand Beach. We filmed off of Saddle Road, heading over to Kona, several places just to show, God is really waving at us saying, hey, I want a relationship with you. And he does that on so many levels. And I believe one of the ways he does that is through nature. The beauty that we get to see every day in Hawaii, the oceans, their power. It's a description of his character. So the song, Reveal Yourself to Me, in the video, you'll see just demonstrations of that, God waving at us. Hey, I want to show you who I am. I want to show you the love I have for you. So let me reveal myself to you. Right. And the song is just responding to that. My second video, Simple Faith, that's also on YouTube. That's a song about my journey to have children. There was at one point a doctor told me I wouldn't be able to have kids. I had a number of miscarriages, but God, I cried out to him, and I believe the promise he gave me is that someday I would be a mom, and he fulfilled that promise to me. All right. So he performed 2 little miracles in my life, my daughter and my son, and so that song, Simple Faith, does talk about that. Well, congratulations. And then my current video, thank you so much. And nobody did it but him. He sometimes he'll put us in those places in our lives where we can do nothing else but look up. And then when the miracle happens, we have to give him all the credit and all the glory.
Well, let's talk about another one of your singles called I Choose. Would you care to tell us about the backstory on that one?
I Choose. So I wrote I Choose, I would say a month into starting the quarantine. During the coronavirus, COVID-19 season that we're going through right now. Mm-hmm. And I was just feeling so much despair and so much anxiety. And especially if you hang out on the news or media too long, social media, oh my gosh, it was just like dragging my emotions into the ground. And I had to make a decision. Okay, how am I going to go through this? Am I going to choose joy? Can I choose peace? Can I choose hope? Can I choose you, God? Can I choose to stand on your promises as we go through this horrific time? And yes, I can. So I made a decision to turn down the noise and to really just reflect more so on his promises and his hope, and spending time with other people who wanted to do the same, and encouraging one another to keep our eyes fixed on Christ and the hope we can have in this time. And maybe there's something new he wants me to focus on, Mm-hmm. I've started playing the piano in this season. I continue to write songs. I continue to try to grow as a physician in my studying. And so there's so many things. Maybe we couldn't do all the things we used to do, but there's some new things maybe he wants to do in us. So just trying to refocus my emotions. So I Choose is a song about doing just that, making a decision on how we're going to respond at this time in a positive way.
So much is happening so fast, I feel knocked down. The world I used to know has crumbled to the ground. The misery of the world multiplies every day. Troubles try to take my peace away. But when I look at the sky, I'm reminded you're still faithful. I'm still here today. I can lift my hands and praise. I choose joy because I know you're here. I choose hope. You give me strength to face my fear. I choose peace because you can calm the storm. I choose you because I know where my help comes from. Worry and stress try to become my new best friend. Chaos tries to push my mind off the deep end. Distracted by uncertainty, seems no peace can be found. Fear tries to turn my world upside down. But when I look at the sun, I'm reminded you're still faithful. I'm still here today. I can lift my voice and praise. I choose joy because I know you're here. I choose hope. You give me strength to face my fear. I choose peace because you can calm the storm. I choose you because I know where my help comes from. When I look around, there's so much that has changed, but you will forever remain the same. Your word is the rock where I can always stand. I will hold to your unchanging hand. I choose joy. I choose hope. I choose peace. I choose you, 'cause I know where my help comes from. I choose joy because I know you're here. I choose hope. You give me strength to face my fear. I choose peace because you can calm the storm. I choose you 'cause I know where my help comes from. I choose
And I'm back on the phone with Shallon Toré, and we're talking about a variety of subjects here. Tell me about the pandemic this year. You were talking about a little briefly before we played some music there. Has it interrupted some of your music plans this year?
Yes, in some ways, but it's amazing how we've been able to overcome it. I'm currently working with a producer, Miklos Malik, and he's based out of Los Angeles. And Miklos and I decided to work together before the pandemic, and then everything started to happen. So we're like, okay, well, I can't make it to Los Angeles. You can't come out here. So we figured out how to do it all virtually. So now that's what we do. So I'm still recording on a regular basis with Miklos. We've been able to figure out the technology to be able to do that. So I continue to work with my vocal coach, Allison Adams-Tucker. We do that virtually. If anything, we've just gotten smarter. God is continuing to give me melodies and lyrics and just different themes and ideas just to develop songs based on those things. So I would say I'm still moving right along.
Good for you. Can you talk about any...
find ways to do it differently.
Can you talk about any new song titles, or do you have an album in mind for later this year or next year?
My goal is to have my album released later on this year, the fall, winter of 2020. Goodness, there are so many great songs coming out. Songs about God's grace, how it finds us wherever we are. You know, whether you've been living your own way your whole life, His grace can find you there. If you've been walking with God and you fall away and maybe you got tripped up, His grace can find you there. And His arms are always open to us. So I have a song about that. I have a song about pride and how pride can get the best of us and can damage relationships, but we can choose a different way. Songs about letting God fight our battles. Sometimes we feel like we got to take it ourselves and deal with it ourselves, but by letting God take it, He can fix things in a way that can just blow our minds. Got those songs coming out as well in the near future. A song about a cry for help when we're going through really devastating seasons of life. So yeah, there's quite a bit coming, and I truly believe these are songs that are going to uplift people's souls and really give them a new take on life.
Perfect timing for all that, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, there's lots to look forward to.
It definitely can cross over to people, whether you do believe in God or you don't. I truly believe the messages in these songs hopefully will lead you to a relationship with Jesus Christ, but I really believe the messages are real, and they're for everyone in any season.
How about the local radio stations here in the islands? Have any of them picked up on your music? Are you getting some airplay as well?
Yes, I've learned that Kappa is playing my music, so thank you so much. So excited about that locally, and hopefully more stations will pick it up. In terms of the news getting out there, I have a number of Facebook followers. I don't know exactly where I'm at right now, but my song Simple Faith, for example, got over 300,000 views all around the world.
All right.
Glow is well over 100,000. I have almost 5,000 followers on Spotify now.
Wow.
And I was just made aware that Pandora has put me on their new gospel workout playlist and their new Gospel Now playlist.
That's fantastic.
So I'm on there with other artists like Kirk Franklin and Corinne Hawthorne and Ty Tribbett. My mind is completely blown.
And how it's your career is just kind of just getting started too, right?
Yes, this is my third single that I've released. People are really responding to my music.
This time next year, who knows? Yeah?
Who knows?
Yeah. What's the best place for folks to find your music? Should they go to your website first or social media?
So you can definitely find me on Facebook and Instagram. Again, Shallon Toré. My website is shallonmusic.com. And you can find my videos there, as well as information about tours and ultimately when that happens someday. For right now, I'll just be virtually touring. Again, I'm on Pandora. Please download the music there. And on Spotify, please follow me there.
Why don't you let our listeners know how you spell your names? Because I'm sure there will be some mistypings there.
Oh, yes. So Shallon is S as in Sam, Hallon, as in Nancy. Toré, so T-O-R-E, so Shallon Toré.
Right.
And again, shallonmusic.com is a simple way to kind of link me there with everyone.
I'll be sure to put some links in the show description below that people can click on and find you right away.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
I think the biggest thing I'd like to share is that for God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. So that's the biggest message behind what I do, is that I just want to share with the world that Jesus loves you, and God's been in pursuit of your heart from the beginning of time. And he sent his own son to build that bridge back to a relationship with him. So most importantly, thank you for checking out my music, but most importantly, check out Jesus.
All right. Mahalo,
Yes,
Shallon Toré,
yes.
and thanks for being a guest on today's show on Songs and Stories.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Hey, what's good, everyone? This is Jazz Kaiviko'o, and you're listening to the Songs and Stories podcast. Hey, please follow me and subscribe to my new YouTube channel at Jazz Kaiviko'o, and also check out my new CD, Lo-Fi Grits, as well as other productions that I've done at jazztheproducer.com. As one Z. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Songs and Stories. You can find episodes on Apple Podcast and listen or download for free. New episodes are available every Thursday. Songs and Stories is produced by Big Island Music Magazine. Find us on the web at bigislandmusic.net. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. I'll see you next week on Songs and Stories. Aloha.
Songs and Stories with Steve Roby. All about artists on Hawaii. Learn about the music and backstory on Songs and Stories.